from Significant. This is Crack It in an Hour.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Crack It in an Hour. I'm Simon.
I'm Jesse.
I'm Roman.
And for those of you who listen all the time, you know the deal. It is one problem to crack, 1 hour, once a week. And one of us knows what the problem is, and the other two have no idea. And today, I have that problem. Roman, you ready to start the hour? All right, sweet. So, I want to talk about...
Oh boy, your face already.
Yeah, he's excited.
I want to talk about nothing.
Okay.
I feel relaxed already.
Do you?
Yeah.
That's good to know, because did you know that most people find doing nothing incredibly stressful?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
In fact, it's a problem these days where there was actually a really crazy study. This one goes a little bit further back, but there was a test, a University of Virginia study. It was done a little while back where participants were asked to sit alone with their thoughts for 6 to 15 minutes or shock themselves. 67% of men chose to shock themselves instead of sit alone with their thoughts. 25% of women chose to give themselves shocks. They would literally rather be shocked and stimulated by a shock.
We're talking about like...
Absolutely correct.
Yeah, that's what we're talking about.
That's what we're talking about.
Hey, did you bring a taser to this episode? Are we going to have to make a choice?
And how long were they supposed to do nothing?
6 to 15 minutes. It was a range.
15 minutes?
Yeah.
You'd rather get an electrocution?
Shock. Correct.
What?
That's where we are as a society.
Humanity's bonkers, dude.
Yeah, I know.
That's insane.
That is insane.
The average smartphone user touches their phone 2,600 to 3,000 times per day. Heavy users exceed 5,000 touches a day. Over 60% of adults say they actively avoid boredom whenever possible. People like to say, oh, I got to just wind down. I got to do nothing. And more, doing nothing includes doing something, but sort of passively.
Mm.
Yes.
We have lost the ability to do nothing, to be bored, to be alone and think and just be. And there's benefits to it. There's lots of big benefits to it. I can take you through a few really quickly. But essentially, a lot of boredom and a lot of doing things like that is a lot of your mind's way of taking the time to sort of reset itself.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? There's recovery. It actually helps you with attention. It clears up fatigue when things are a thing. Weirdly, you know what? There's a lot of parallels to the episode we did about vacations.
Yeah.
Where it's just like, just doing nothing has all these sort of transformative powers that actually helps your brain function. You be healthier, you feel better, you get happier. I could go into the details, but that's the nuts and bolts of it. So today I want to talk about nothing and how we help this society that is consistently doing less and less nothing, more and more something. How do we help people do more nothing?
I did nothing for 30 minutes today.
How?
So I set
Did
a
you?
timer specifically
That's great.
to do nothing for 30 minutes.
Okay, so let's start there. How did you do that? What made you do it? Let's go through that, because I'll be honest with you. I would imagine you're one of the people I know closest to me that might have the most trouble doing nothing.
I think I do and I don't, because I think I have so much energy that I always want to be doing something, but I also could lay in the grass and look at the sky for like 30 minutes and be the happiest person on earth.
Really?
I think it's a combination of things for me personally. If I'm outside, I could easily do nothing. If I'm inside, I have a much harder time because I feel like I'm trapped.
Yeah.
Also, inside, I feel like is where my brain now just associates inside with productivity.
Right.
So I'm like, well, if I'm not working, I should do some laundry. I should do some dishes. I should, organize this cabinet, or I should go work on that thing or go do that thing. So there's more distractions inside, I think, than outside. But honestly, today it came from I was stressed. I was stressed today. I think I told both of you, I feel stressed. I feel like my brain just wasn't doing what I wanted it to do. And I was staring at my computer and the words weren't coming. And I was like, oh my God. And I was getting frustrated with myself. So I was like, I'm just going to go outside I'm going to sit in a chair. I'm going to set a 30-minute timer. I'm going to put my phone over there, and I'm just going to close my eyes and lay there and sit there for 30 straight minutes.
Did it work?
Yeah, it was amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, was I 100% less stressed?
No. But was it a step forward in I feel better?
I think I felt better. You know what it was? I think what's interesting is did it solve all my problems? No, not at all. But I felt far less frustrated with myself.
Yeah.
I think just because I gave myself the 30 minutes. And I was so happy that the sun makes me happy.
Yeah, same.
I think that specifically helped.
Yeah.
But I think it's interesting. I think it's like, I'm curious actually if you have anything on how long you have to do nothing in order to feel the benefits of nothing.
I couldn't find anything. No.
I don't know that I don't know that you will, because most of the things that we read today are about learning how to get bored.
Yeah.
Which is a slight nuanced.
Yes.
Because you don't measure it as much. I think you can plan nothing when you just, I think, proved it. Getting bored, generally speaking, is not, I'm going to put time on my calendar to get bored.
Yeah.
You see what I mean?
Yeah,
it's just something that happens.
What's the difference in your mind?
But there wasn't until you talked about your experience.
Yeah.
You plan your nothing time.
Yeah.
And when you plan it and it's time bound, I think it's harder to get bored because it's time bound. Unless it's like days and days of it. But I think like the way you planned it to me, I'm like, most people, it's easier and probably I think a good step in the direction of learning to get bored is to actually reverse engineer the thing and make it work with how people's brains function today, which is to schedule everything.
Schedule it, yeah.
Which I think is an interesting twist, like on the
scheduling your
boredom.
Yeah.
Schedule your boredom. Exactly.
I mean, I think you also have to put your phone somewhere where you can't reach it, because the temptation to just pick it up is too much. But yeah, it's interesting when I think about boredom. I think it's really hard to jump into boredom.
Yes.
But what I think is interesting to think about is when let's say you're doing a puzzle, pretty low stakes activity already, and in 15 minutes you get bored.
Yeah.
How do you push yourself past that moment? I think is interesting, like letting yourself sit in boredom in the activities that you're doing instead of pushing yourself from one thing to the next the minute you because I think to your point, it's boredom and nothing. You can schedule time to be undistracted instead of and try to clear your mind. It's, I guess, for a lot of people that's meditation, but you can't just be like, I'm gonna get bored now.
Well, it's funny you mentioned that, what you were talking about, because like boredom is there's all sorts of stuff about this. Like the onset of boredom when it first comes is like an uncomfortable feeling. And it's always been an uncomfortable feeling. That's nothing new. But the thing that is like, once you break through it and your mind's wandering, it's off doing its own sort of thing. That's where like let's call it there's like a passive stimulating effect to it.
Yeah.
Right. But the problem right now that we face in society is the second you feel that discomfort of boredom, you're not going to wait to break through it. You're like, I better pull out my phone.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But, I agree completely. And it brings a thought about just the reframing of, because the cultural now conversation that we see everywhere is about humans don't know how to be bored.
Totally.
Especially younger generation, blah, 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 blah. But boredom comes with who wants to really be bored? Like it's a negative connotation. It's like if you already reframe the thing, learn how to do nothing, and then you tackle benefit onto it, it will be a much easier way in than
be bored.
You should learn how to get bored. Like who wants
to be bored?
Who wants to do something that's actually a negative word?
Yeah, you want to be like, I think there are so many feelings that surround boredom that are actually positive feelings. Like, do you want to be relaxed? Do you want to clear your mind? Do you want to
have ideas?
Do you want to have
Things to slow
ideas? Do you want
down?
things to slow down? Like, I think that's interesting to be like, if someone's like, hey, do you want to like go be bored on Saturday? I'd be like, I don't know about that.
This is going to the creative world in advertising specifically. I don't want to misspeak, but like every great creative I know built doing nothing into their process.
Yeah.
It's like, it's absolutely necessary that like you kind of, and like we know some great ones who like sit in a room for a while doing seemingly nothing and then just things would pop up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it is part of the process. And I do believe, like, I don't know if it's boredom per se, but there is something about sitting in a place, cutting yourself off from stimulus and letting your mind go.
But if I can be philosophical for a second, it might help us unpack it.
Yeah.
What does that actually mean? Like, what is like nothing, not the word nothing, but doing nothing? What does it mean?
That's a good question.
Because if the thing you just described, I agree. It's part of like many people's creative process. Maybe they would argue, I'm going to sit in a room and think.
Yeah.
And then if you think, maybe you're not doing nothing.
No, I know.
Like, so
Ooh, this is a
really good
question.
Can I give
Existential
you,
question.
I'll give you, maybe this is a cheat, but the way I've been kind of thinking about it is not stimulated by external stimulation.
yeah.
So yeah, you can have thoughts that are getting you excited and you can be actively thinking and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But is that doing nothing? Maybe not. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because it's interesting, like
And I can give you a counter that just kills my own idea.
well, the creative example it's interesting because it's productivity. It's nothing in service of productivity. So it's a weird way to define nothingness.
Totally.
Even though I buy it, I personally do it.
Yeah.
Like you go on walks. I think it's
100%.
why the shower is where
Showers
most people
are-
have ideas because there's what are you reading the back of your shampoo
There's
bottle in
science
there?
to the
There's
shower,
yeah,
too.
totally.
Yeah.
It's nothing. You have nothing to do in there.
And
Think.
it's apparently it's connected to like weird stimulus too. Like it's
Oh,
just
really?
like, yeah, it's connected to like, there's water falling on your head, which is like a not natural spot. Like there's like physiological sort of connections to it.
Oh, I love that.
Mm.
I'm
Yeah.
going to look into that.
Yeah.
What are you going to say to counter your own
Well,
thing?
I was going to say, like, I'll give you a perfect counter of what I just said. And this is the point of this podcast is I don't pretend to be right on everything. Is like, if I have something on my mind, it is impossible for me to do nothing.
Yeah.
Because I will just waffle about it or worry about it. And like my wife will call this out where it's like, if I have like, especially like, I'm not good at disconnecting from work. If I have work on my mind, I wear it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I can be talking to my wife and she'll literally say, go for a run. Like you need to go for a run because this is just not getting off your head right now. I can't think. But I wouldn't say me sitting in a room being just thinking about all the things I need to get done that day is doing nothing.
How often,
I don't think it's
how
productive.
often would you
It comes
do you think you do nothing?
Not very often because I do a lot of like for example, I go for a walk with my wife, but I'm with my wife. You know what I mean? I'm having a conversation. I'm disassociating from the world at large, but I wouldn't say I'm doing nothing.
That's the thing.
You know what I mean?
I agree. I think especially even more so when you're a parent, because anytime you have free time, so it's either you're optimizing for work, and when you're good at putting work aside, then you're optimizing either for your own well-being, workout, meditation, reading a book, optimizing for your time spent with your family.
Totally.
And so when you do all that, if you have a job, which a lot of people do, I'm lucky enough to have a job, then there's no time. Because the free time that you have, you want to spend it with your kids. Like generally speaking, I'm generalizing obviously, and many people are every single human being is different, but you know, like when you have like a 9 to 5 or you work like 60, 70 hour weeks, every weekend, if you have a half an hour to sit on your couch, what are you going to do? you're just going to go hang out where the kids are in the house.
Yeah.
Right. So
Totally.
it's super hard, I think, for that, I think, privileged part of the population to find moments of nothing.
Yeah.
I think the only moments I personally find them is when my family's away, which happens 2 weeks a year.
Yeah.
And I'm terrible at it because I'm always doing something. I'm reading a book, going for a walk, I'm going for a run, I'm taking a nap.
Well,
I consider all of this to be like something.
I always usually build, like my family goes away for a bunch in the summer and I always find a project to do during that time.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Because I can't just like do nothing. I'm like, this is the year I'll renovate the garage. You know what I mean?
But also you're benefiting from that project and renovating the garage, and there's so much fulfillment that comes from it.
Absolutely.
Right. So it's a hard tension where like there's winning and losing everywhere.
Yeah. I think it's one of the again, it's very hard, and I agree with everything you're saying. I do think it's one of the benefits of having a dog, actually. Like, again, you guys know, I brought it up on the podcast. I don't have kids, so my situation, it's different. Like if I'm home alone, like I really can do. And if I'm not working or working out or all of the things that you said, I find ever since I got a dog, there are moments like where I'm just looking at her laying there and I'm like, that looks peaceful. And I just lay down next to her.
So you mean you find inspiration from your dog?
Yeah. Or like if I lay outside with her in the grass, or just, for me, it's usually, for me, doing nothing is always very connected to like touching the earth in some way, I think. But
I don't disagree.
But I think, and maybe that's another thing to think about is like, we talked about the scheduling of it, but maybe doing nothing feels like so floating in the ether that you need some sort of grounding to like help figure out what nothing is and what it means to you. Not to get like super philosophical, but
you've nailed one of the big problems people have with doing nothing.
It's
not attached to anything.
Yeah.
Like we live in a world where like you like to attach meaning to everything.
No shit, Sherlock.
And so as a result, people are like, wait, like, but why am I doing this?
Or how do I do it?
How do I do this?
Yeah. I think it's interesting to ground it in something physical, like not a physical activity, but physical on the earth, because it's hard to just imagine, like, if I don't know what nothing is, I don't know what nothing looks like, I don't know what nothing feels like, how do you expect me to do nothing? And so I think we talked a little bit about the feelings that surround it that you could use to help create more descriptors, but I think even helping people understand what it looks like or how to do it in ways that are more tangible is kind of interesting to think about. And that's where I brought up the dog, because like when I see her just like she's sleeping, but she's just like flopped over, like blissed out. I'm like, that looks great. I want to do whatever that is.
Is it easier to do nothing on vacation for you?
100%.
Oh, I have the worst time doing nothing on vacation.
Interesting.
The opposite.
100% for me.
Interesting.
100%.
Same for me.
It's the only time I can accept to do a little bit of nothing.
Yeah.
Not that much. But otherwise, I can't find the time. I really can't. I'm not trying to find the time.
Right.
Like
it comes more naturally.
But I think the hardest part is, in my mind, the fact of doing nothing is it's got to be alone. And maybe we can discuss this.
Well,
but
that's interesting.
I don't see how you do nothing with someone, because we end up chatting.
Yeah.
Even if I'm like, which doesn't happen that often at our age, but laying down on a beach with someone, we're going to chat.
Yeah, totally.
I'm going to pull up a book maybe. We're going to chat. You're going to go in the water. That's something.
Yeah.
Like when I'm alone is the only time in the year I'm thinking of, okay, there's a Saturday afternoon and I need some time to not work. Otherwise my brain's going to fry.
Yeah. And
I'm just going to read a book and then end up doing nothing, because after 60 pages, I don't want to read anymore.
Right.
It happens twice a year.
It's a tough one to define, because you're right. Like I find doing nothing on vacation a lot easier, but I don't know if I would say I'm fully doing nothing.
Yeah.
But the thing I will say is that like there's something that happens on vacation for me when I'm having a good vacation is almost like a mental disassociation to time and obligation.
Yeah.
And I don't know how to describe it beyond that. And like, in fact, my wife made a rule with me that I was like, that's a great idea. She suggested that you need to take 2-week vacations because the first 5 days is just you learning how to be at the right rhythm again.
Yeah, we covered that, but it was a while ago. And there's no science to that.
Yeah. And
the importance of a 2-week vacation.
And doing nothing like in the short term is a lot harder because I just can't wind it down.
Totally.
You know what I mean?
Totally.
I just can't.
Totally. I think I told that story of like a second mother of mine who's now retired. And when we would go as kids on vacation, she would tell me, I always in the summer, and we're French, so we can do it. In the summer, I take a month. She was entrepreneur running a company, probably 80 employees, like full on super successful business. I take a month because it takes me a week to unwind. And about a week before I start again, my brain starts going again. So this way I have 2 weeks off.
It's crazy.
I've never done that. Can either of you do that thing? I think there's a word for it. I don't remember what it is, but can either of you do that thing where you intentionally blur your vision?
Not really. No. Like I can do the thing with like those old posters.
No. You like when you're like, if you're staring at something, but you can literally just like completely blur your vision intentionally and make everything go away.
No.
Yeah, but I don't do it because I'm worried it's not going to come back. Yeah, I can do it.
You can do it. Like,
I can do it. Sorry, go ahead.
Well, I mean, I don't consider it. I think it's when people talk about dissociating, I think that's partially what they're referring to. Although I think that's a term that's gotten thrown around a lot in the last couple of years to mean
all sorts of
things.
Yeah.
But I thought of it when you brought up dissociating because I can do it and I do it I don't want to say often.
Really?
But like when
Can you do it quickly?
Yeah, pretty quickly. And it's like when
You're a lot better at this than I thought you were going to be.
I mean, I think I do it in moments where I need to mentally escape the situation for a minute because it's not like I'm craving doing nothing, but like I find that to be a tangible example. Again, we've really stopped talking about boredom and we're talking about nothingness, and maybe at some point we need to go back to boredom.
Yeah.
But it's interesting to like, and maybe it's a completely different example, but
no, it's a nebulous topic. You know what I mean? Because like doing nothing is slightly different than boring. And then when you say doing nothing, what does that mean? Does that mean I can go for a walk by myself while I'm walking? So I'm doing something, but is it enough just to be in my own mind? You know what I mean?
That's the thing. Like what are, you probably had it somewhere in your research. What are the benefits of doing nothing? It's probably creativity. There's probably a bunch of things like mindfulness, mental reset, all of this.
Yeah.
There's other ways
Emotional
to do that.
regulation.
A walk alone is a way to do that.
Yeah.
Meditation is a way to do that.
Yeah.
Going for solo endurance sports is a way to do that. Like there's many. So to your point, it's nebulous, right?
Yeah.
If what you're trying to achieve is something, then doing nothing is just one way to get there.
Yeah.
Right. Like, I know we're having the weirdest sentences.
What would you say?
We're going to have lots of quotes in
I know.
that one.
What would you say is the overall goal then? Is it disassociation? Is it disconnection? You know what I mean? Is it the power of disconnection for a small moment in time? Is that really what doing nothing really helps us achieve?
Oh, I think there's so many things that come to mind. You go.
Well, I think only because we've talked about, I'm going to stay away from disconnection because I think we've talked about it so much already. And we've talked about it a lot. And it's like, we've gotten there. So for the sake of not going there again, I would say one of the best things that if we could help people, 2 options. 1, stay in boredom. Not get into it, but like find comfort in the discomfort and encourage people somehow to stay in bored. When you get bored, stay there for 20 minutes, something like that. option 1, and now I forgot what option 2 was. Option 1 is like stay in the moment longer. And option 2 is like encourage everybody to do nothing for 20 minutes a day. Like if I had to set goals like that, if this is a brief, I think we have to pick one of those 2 paths as sort of the thing to achieve.
What was the first one? Sorry.
Stay in boredom.
Like helping people understand that once you get to, because Simon said it and I agree with it. The thing about boredom is it's actually uncomfortable when it first hits you. But if you can get past those first 5 minutes of being bored, it's when it gets kind of interesting and beneficial. So we're either like, this is the campaign on the benefits of boredom. And how do you help people like stay in boredom once they get there? You can't convince people to get bored. You have to like, boredom's going to happen. This is why you should stay in it. Or we're going to convince people to do nothing for 20 minutes a day.
Yeah. Yeah. And we're going to go back to water, exercising, not sleep, but all those things about small steps.
Yeah.
The New York Times has an interesting thing they're doing on, I don't know if it's monthly, I don't know if it's quarterly. Anytime it happens and it hits my inbox, I click it, but I've actually never done it. So shame on me. They call it, I think, the 10-minute challenge. Did you see that?
No.
And they send just a piece of art and they ask you to just look at it for 10 minutes.
That's pretty good.
Uninterrupted.
That's pretty good.
And I always have it open in my tabs and I've never done it. It's just 10 minutes. And I think it's a fantastic idea. It's not doing nothing.
Okay.
But if we study the argument of what does it mean, right? It's an interesting way to get your brain to totally forget about everything that's going on in your day and focus on something else in a way that will likely take you to some places that had nothing to do with what's in front of you.
That's a good step.
Yeah.
I want to redefine your definition, Simon, because I think I know. Shocking. Because I think that's a brilliant example and I have never seen it and I love that. And you talked about the absence of outside stimulus, which would have also been my first thought in the definition.
Yeah.
But I think like staring at a single painting for 10 minutes could be boring.
I totally agree.
So I like the idea of like, I think it's impossible to say that we're going to like force boredom by removing. That's just meditation in my opinion. But what you're talking
about there specifically is, I don't know what you'd call it. I don't want to say obtrusive, but it's like, it's less stimulus.
Singularity.
You know what I mean? Like you were like, okay, let's take away the option to Wikipedia, like who was in the Doobie Brothers? You know what I mean? Like all those dumb things I know I do when I'm just like sitting around bored and there's one thing that you could concentrate on or something like that. That's got to help you.
Your search example is also an interesting one though, because I wouldn't have, in the beginning of the conversation, I wouldn't have defined this as boredom, but like, well, I think we talked about this on a previous episode. I think when we talk about why no good debate exists anymore, and it's because people can just, if you're arguing with somebody about, when did the Doobie Brothers break up? And I'm like, someone's just like, let me Google it.
I know.
But
it sucks.
If you also remove, this is a completely different definition, but the ability to not have answers is to me an interesting definition of boredom.
Well, that's different, but that's interesting.
I know I said it's a different definition.
A small anecdote that's related to that. It's not related to boredom and nothing, but when we went on Thanksgiving.
But the Doobie Brothers.
Thanksgiving last year, every year we go we have the benefit of being expats. So we just go with friends and we have this phenomenal big house with all the kids, it's like 20 of us. And this year, the first dinner, it's like 3 dinners. The first dinner, suddenly a debate like this happens and someone said, no Google. And then we maintained that for the whole 4 days. So no one could check answers on their phones
about
for
anything.
4 days.
That's
and you
good.
can imagine you had like quite a few weird debates, whether it's
totally. Just the banal.
Weird, like how high is the Eiffel Tower?
Yeah.
That wasn't the case. We're all French. We don't talk about the Eiffel Tower.
All they talk about.
That's what I expect.
Or is that person alive or dead?
Right.
Or like whatever.
Yeah.
Just natural conversation. And people are like, nope, you can't do that.
Yeah.
It was really, really good. Very productive for like the ongoing debate and the rationale as to why do you think that? The first one, okay, I'll just say this. The first one was real funny. It was about, do crabs' claws grow back?
Oh, interesting.
I think yes.
Okay, there you go. And so you can't check your phone.
Wow.
The debate was like, and so this anyway.
But I need to know the answer.
So I can't remember.
I'm pretty sure they regrow.
I think the stone crabs, at least the one you eat in Florida, I think they do.
I think okay.
But anyway, so I think it's not a direct lead into doing nothing.
No,
but it gets to a benefit that could be similar.
Yeah, no, I'm not. I think you have to take the phone example out of it specifically. I just was thinking, because when you were like, if we take the art example and you're staring at it and then your brain starts to wander and you're like, I wonder who painted this. I wonder what year that painter was alive. Where did they live? I think to stay in boredom is the absence of answers. Is what the definition started to become in my mind. Like, and I think it's really interesting to make people comfortable. I mean, there's many, many different definitions. It's comfortable not being productive. It's comfortable, whatever. But I think it's just a thing that we're so used to now. When the minute your mind starts to wander, we tend to want to like check all those, check all those things off, answer the questions, land the plane. And then we're like, okay, cool. And I think it's interesting to be like, I don't ever need to actually know.
It's very difficult to put a definition on it, I think. But that's one way.
Yeah.
But how do you show people the benefits of it?
I think that's the hardest part. I think that's a good question, because I was going to say something when you said that, which is slightly different. So I'm going to get to your question after, even though I have no idea. It's like many of us, and I'm guilty of it, our lives are gigantic to-do list.
Yeah.
Like there's always a to-do list in your head about, okay, I got to do this. I got to do this. This is today. Okay, then I can push that to tomorrow. Okay, on the weekend, I got to do this and blah, blah, blah. Oh, my garage door is broken. I got to fix it on Saturday, blah, blah, blah. Maybe we need to trick people into putting that on the to-do list.
Yeah, I think that was one of the first things, is schedule boredom.
Yeah.
That was one of the first things that was talked about.
You see, I'm bored already. Going back to the first conversation.
Damn, Roman.
No, I thought it was good to be bored. Jesse, we're just trying to reframe boredom.
We don't have answers. We're in the ether.
Damn.
Benefits
I
of it.
love answers. There's no way I could live in that world. I'd be like, what is the point? Where are we going?
I mean, frankly, this whole podcast is advertising for not having answers.
Totally.
Like we're just
how do you think about things without knowing exactly what to do right away?
Yeah, that's true.
So we're going to do a whole
I hope nobody
episode.
ever fact checks us.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, some people do.
We get messages.
Yeah, we get messages.
we get told.
Yeah.
Hey, I
keep
own it.
telling us.
Keep telling us. Cool.
Yeah.
So benefits, your
How
question.
do you show people the benefit?
How do you show benefits of boredom or doing nothing?
You find a spokesperson.
Because the thing about doing nothing for me a lot of the times is it's like it's you gotta anything to do with like mindfulness or really health in general. It's like a tough sell without experiencing it. You know what I mean? Like it's easy to go, look how good I look, but it's hard to go, you'll feel better. You know what I mean? And it's just hard. And like, I find that even like when I started doing meditation, up until I did meditation, I thought it was silly. And then you do it and you're like, oh, I get why this is helpful now. It's, you know what I mean? It actually really helps me kind of reframe my feelings, thoughts, and emotions and stuff.
I wonder though, if and I swear I'm not going to
make it sexy.
Jesse
doing
TM
nothing sexy
strategy, but I'm not. But of all if technically experiencing boredom makes you less stressed out, clears your mind, like does all the things we talked about, it could have physical benefits to it.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, they would have to be quite significant over time, I think. But when you first asked the question, what popped in my head is the picture of like, I don't know why I pictured this, but I don't know why this popped in my head. I don't even know why I'm about to share it. No, it's not.
It's going to be great.
You know, the picture of like the truck drivers, and like there's the side of their face that always faced the window, so that like it aged a lot faster because they weren't wearing sunscreen, and then there's the side of their face that's not against the window.
Yeah.
And so I was
in the arm too.
yeah,
There was that
exactly.
one,
The
yeah.
arm. I don't know why that is the image that immediately popped into my head, but I was thinking about like the visualization of like this person spent their the last 40 years being bored 20% of the time, and this person didn't.
Right.
It's interesting because, again, boredom has such a negative connotation. To me, when you say bored, you're thinking, I'm thinking probably inactive. So probably not healthy.
Yeah.
Like if you say for the last 40 years, right? Because the conversation was
yeah,
about
but
how
the
you
physical,
get bored like an hour
but
every
when
week,
you
right?
see the physical, I think actually what's interesting is to let me rephrase, expose boredom as the surprising outcome, not go in through that door. So for example, if you're like, I'm going to speak in like total executional terms, but if you were like, we found the reduced stress by 20%, happier by like, X percent, feeling more alive, more creative, like click here if you want to know how.
Yeah.
And then it's like boredom.
Yeah.
Like I think because there are benefits that
There's huge benefits.
They're probably qualitatively measured more than quantitatively for sure. But I think if you were like,
I
find out how this person.
I don't think it's physical, I guess was my point.
But I think it could be.
I think
potentially.
happiness is a better probably way in than because physical is it's a tough
but I'm
it's
saying
a long road between boredom and physical wellness.
Yeah, totally. I mean, but if one person spends their life optimizing every single aspect of it, and the other person we're talking essentially about the difference between having some balance in your life and not.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
Like, and I think there could be physical outcomes to that, but I think it's not as obvious.
I think you need to find someone who is like really famous 20 years ago and disappeared off the face of the earth, and you need to bring them back for like one day.
You've been doing nothing.
And be like, hey, I've been doing nothing. I'm so happy. And then they disappear again.
There's that like this quasi pseudo famous interview with Matt LeBlanc from Friends. Did you ever hear that one?
No.
Where he was like, like it ended and I was like, I'm going to take a year to do nothing. And then that year ended and I was like, that was a pretty good year. I think I'm going to do another year of doing nothing. And then I just kind of kept doing nothing. And it's like, I think people just really attach themselves to the honesty of that, right?
Yeah.
Which is like a lot of people like doing nothing's pretty great for a lot of people.
But that's, I think you're putting your finger on something we haven't talked about is the stigma of.
Oh, totally.
That's
a great
really,
point.
Yeah.
It's like
achievement,
hyper productivity.
Productive.
Like
it's
culture.
Lazy.
Yeah. Doing nothing
is lazy. Exactly. It's like, we could,
you're right.
We could probably open that one up.
And like somebody with talent, like known talent, people also say like you're wasting your potential. Yeah. It's like, who said?
On what?
And who do I owe this potential to?
Yeah, exactly.
Like I think it's a really, really good point, the stigma and the pressure around it. And like, I mean, I think with musicians, artists, like as a society, we're very like, well, like they should come back and give us another album. They should come. They're tired.
Yeah.
Let them rest.
Yeah, exactly.
Just want to hang out a little bit. I think that's such a good point. But it goes back to you have to redefine boredom for sure. Like you have to make it not a negative thing.
Yeah.
No, I agree.
Which is, you need to find another word.
You got to find a
what's
well,
boredom
what if you
backwards?
Made it, like, is there a way to rebrand it as part of the process of productivity?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Is there a way to do something like that?
Yeah.
You flip it on its head.
Trick
somehow.
people into it. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Thinking time, or you know what I mean? Finding a way to rebrand it.
Schedule boredom. Again, we're going back to the first one. Yeah.
I had another thought and I forgot it.
I have nothing to add, and now I'm very
bored.
No, I'm very happy that this episode I can say I have nothing.
I have like sort of a random idea, and this is
always looking for the loophole, Roman.
I have sort of a loophole here, which is what about aesthetics? Like, what about architecture and aesthetics? Like, do you need a certain type of space to make boredom come more easily or be more enjoyable? Do you know what I mean? Like, let me give you an example. Is like, I think a lot of the times I'm generalizing, but I'm generalizing with a to manipulate you all into agreeing with my idea, which is like, if you think about a vacation, it is essentially a luxury vacation is essentially time spent in a beautiful space, right? And that's the place that people find it's easiest to do nothing. So like, if you could take that concept and apply it in a kind of more simple way, how could you build rooms where boredom would be more easy to achieve?
Let me return the question just to try something out. What comes in your head when you think about a space for nothing?
I think about light. I think about light a lot. To your point, I think outdoor
natural light outside.
Yeah,
okay.
Natural light feels like something that I think it's thing. Weirdly, my mind goes to like a lot of like Japanese design, if that makes sense. And it's like probably the zen of it all and stuff like that. But that's where a lot of like my sort of thinking goes when I start to think about like, where would I like to just be?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
What about you, Jesse?
Sun, grass, blanket.
Okay. Simple.
That's all I need.
Yeah. What about you?
Natural light.
Yeah.
Doesn't necessarily need to be outside, but it needs to be like big. A view, a massive window, a thing with a lot of natural light and seeing outside, palm trees, whatever. It's LA, so we have palm trees, but it could be the mountains, could be anything. Space. Yeah. Just space. Even if it's inside, it's like, it needs to be natural light and spacious. It could be outside. I think what's interesting is that there's commonality, but it's very personal. Yeah. Like, I know for me, it's my brain goes to a couple specific places. Same. I know, right? Same. And so I think it's hard to answer your question. Yeah. Because it's got to go back to somewhere in your conscious or subconscious that feels, yeah, exactly. Where like, the weight is off your shoulder. Right? And I don't think that can be necessarily universal. So let me just go crazy with this tangent for a second, which is like, did COVID and work from home culture actually make relaxing harder? Because to your point, like every space now is a space you work in. 100%. Do you know what I mean? Like for anyone who doesn't have the benefit of having a workspace that's just for work in their home, I think so.
Yes, that's me. I don't have
I would agree, but I don't have the data as one. That would be my assumption.
I think I told you guys this story before, but the couch. The couch. After like basically at least a year, maybe year and a half after, March 2020. I hated my couch so much, like with a fiery passion that I had to get rid of it. Cause I sat on that couch every single day with my laptop. And it used to be like, I remember the feeling of coming home on a Friday and sitting on that couch and being like, then I was like, fucking hate this couch.
I mean, the real estate market during and right after COVID was bonkers.
Yeah, totally.
I know there's other factors, but that's definitely a factor. People needed space, dedicated space, or couldn't stand their place anymore and wanted to move out after COVID.
You know what's interesting to think about is right now, moments of boredom are often turned into moments of frustration. Yeah. Like I was thinking about, as you were talking, Roman, about space in LA, I was thinking about how many people we've talked about this before, but how many people love driving by themselves specifically. And I think about like, okay, technically when you're stuck in traffic, and again, definition of boredom, if you're listening to music, does it count? Does it not? Sure. Whatever. Let's put that aside. You're super frustrated because you're like, this sucks. I just want to get to wherever I'm trying to go, probably home. But if you could reframe that as you've got 30 minutes of time for you, just like sit in it. There's nothing you can do anyway. You cannot, you're not going to like laser blast the cars in front of you out of the way. So like what?
100%.
So it's interesting to think about. I don't think that you could define a physical space because I think it's too personal, but I do think there are spaces where boredom naturally occurs, where it tends to manifest as frustration. Yeah. And I wonder if you focus on those spaces and make those more enjoyable, whether you physically make them more enjoyable, like the way that they start designing interiors of cars, for example, or you just mentally make them more enjoyable by reframing the opportunity for people.
Yeah, I think that the car thing is
in LA.
Reframing the car experience is what one of the 3 to 5 things that actually make me love LA.
Yeah.
Is that people see it as hell to be in a car, and it's exactly what you just described to me. It's like my me time. Sometimes there's nothing on and it's like doing nothing.
Yeah.
Sometimes there's a podcast, sometimes there's music, whatever.
Yeah.
A phone call. But it's like
I mean, Simon, you love
space.
road trips.
I do.
And like, even if you were taking one by yourself and you were driving cross country,
they're my favorite.
like, sure, again, you're probably listening to a book or a podcast or music,
but it's just
you're
my
literally
mind wandering.
like, if you've ever driven, and I'm sure you have, across the middle of America, it's
Nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing. And I know most people in the car at that point talk about like, I'm so bored.
Yeah.
But that's really interesting to think about.
There
benefit.
was a slight tangent. There's an Atlantic piece, just a post, I think. I don't know if it linked to a piece. Anyway, today, I don't know if you saw it. It came up in my feed. Like, I literally spent 2.5 minutes on Instagram today, and it came up in my feed like 3 times because everybody I know was liking it and commenting on it. And it was about the fact that film students.
Oh, I read it.
What is it?
Yeah, it was so
Film
good.
students
I was going to bring this
today
up.
Cannot sit through an entire movie uninterrupted. Which is like, wait, right? Like, and actually the post says people talk about how they can't read a book and reading is getting more difficult. Okay, watching a movie now is too hard because you can't stay uninterrupted without like checking your phone or communicating with people.
Not only is it too hard, but these are people who chose
to study
film. Like, I think
they decided they love it.
I mean, like, this was me. Obviously, I have a degree in film. The amount of hours we spent watching like lengthy movies, dissecting them. Like, if you couldn't do that now, what are you doing?
What are you studying?
And there was a piece a couple days ago, similarly, that was like, do you think that your favorite TV show is getting dumber? Have you noticed? And it's like, it's because it is. People are dumbing down the plots so that you can basically second screen. You can use your phone at the same time, but still be able to figure out what's going on.
You were the one who mentioned the Matt Damon interview, right?
Yeah, we talked about it. Ben and Matt.
Yeah.
Your besties.
They're called in the neighborhood.
That's happening,
we're in
right?
Hollywood
like
right
everything
now.
is
Yeah. Well, they were talking a little bit about the structure of a film as well. But
it's the same point.
Yeah, totally.
I've been watching a lot of older movies lately, and it is interesting to see how much pace has changed. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And how much isn't said. You know what I mean? Yeah. And like, I'm not talking about like, I'm not watching like, oh, I got to watch, Citizen Kane. Like, last night I watched Romancing the Stone. You know what I mean? But it's like a movie from 1984. I quite like it. It's like an action comedy, but it's like at a different pace.
I've never heard of it.
Oh, it's great.
Oh, yeah. You should watch it.
And it's like literally like moments of like inference of what's going to happen rather than telling you what's going to happen and things like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's
very interesting. But the film student article was
the Matt and Ben thing was about like they said a lot of things that was interesting, I think, and that kind of went against their deal with the big streamer.
Yeah.
And they talked about how they were forced to do a certain like sequence. How did you call it? Like the
narrative arc.
The narrative arc of the movie.
Yeah.
It's like you need to start with something every X minutes.
Repeat
you need to
the
have
plot
a big
like
thing.
12 times.
The plot needs to be because people are like second screening.
It's crazy.
It's insane.
Yeah.
And so
people are uncomfortable with boredom.
People are uncomfortable with boredom. Yeah. Generally
it's
speaking,
not even, that's the crazy thing is they're
That's
not even
boredom.
uncomfortable
I
with
think it's
boredom.
slightly different.
You can't even pay attention to the one thing that's supposed to be stimulating in theory.
Yeah.
But it's man.
Doing nothing is something interesting with even my kids because like my daughter will literally go up to me and be like, I'm bored, play with me. And I'm like, you got to figure this out. Like, you know what I mean? Like that's on you.
Yeah.
Okay, keep going. How do you do it? Because I've been very bad at it. When my son comes to see me like, Dad, I'm bored. I'm like, yeah, you got to learn to be bored. And then I walk away, but I don't think it's helping.
No, I know. And then like usually like it sort of ends one of two ways, which is like one of three ways. They find someone to do something with.
Yeah.
they find something to do, albeit generally not for very long, or they intentionally do something destructive to get your attention.
That's the evil in the Bruin family.
You know what I
It's
mean?
coming
Like,
out.
it's like, well, then I'm just gonna
Not your
like go
son.
and
Your
start
son
trouble.
would never.
No, he's fine on his own.
Yeah.
But yeah, exactly. It is interesting. Like they just can't. They don't know what to do with themselves.
I think there's
I have a weird other thing about that, but I can talk.
I
about
think
later.
there's again, this will take us probably into the definition of what is boredom.
Yeah.
But I think that one of the reasons, if I was going to build a chart in my head that's completely made up, but probably correct, is that
like it.
there's I do it all the time. No, just kidding. Very rigorous. But there's a correlation between discomfort and boredom and loss of imagination.
I agree.
And
Totally
I think
agree.
it's
Yeah.
interesting, like, because I think I know that you're surprised that I'm okay being bored because I'm hyper productive
Mhm.
and I have a lot of energy, but I also have a very active imagination.
Right, you do.
And I think that's why I'm comfortable, because I'll tell myself stories. I'll make things up in my head. It's why I love playing with kids, even though I don't have any.
Yeah.
I remember the first time I was playing with my niece, and my mom was like, my niece has very little attention span. My mom, I remember, was like, how did you keep her in that room for like an hour? And I was like, I have no idea. It was just like making stuff up left and right. And so I think you're doing something, so it's hard to call it boredom. But I think with you have to be able to like sit in your thoughts.
Yes.
Which is back to your first thing about people would rather shock themselves.
Yeah,
than
exactly.
do it.
That's the word that came to mind when you asked about benefits. And then I think we lost track. It was imagination. Like we lost track and went somewhere else. But I think that is one of the benefits.
Could I add another one?
Yes.
And I think it is something which is also you have, which is curiosity.
Yeah.
I think when you have curiosity, it's the reason why like you were yearning to know whether a crab can grow their arm back or not. And probably, frankly, why you can keep talking about it. Because you're curious about, okay, well, if that is happening, how are we doing it this side or the other thing?
How long does it take for a crab claw to grow
wait
back?
a sec. Have I ever seen a crab without a claw? I think I have. But wait, was it only a certain type of you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's the same thing with like, for example, a beautiful view. Like whenever I'm like staring at a mountain, I have like a million questions about that mountain.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's just how my brain works.
Yeah.
I'm like, I wonder how cold it is on the top. Oh, I wonder if avalanches happen.
Yeah.
Oh, I wonder how long it would take to get.
I wonder how many people are climbing it right now.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Exactly.
How long ago did it get formed?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, I think about that all the time. And
How did that rock come out that way? Like literally out of the ground?
Yeah, exactly.
This is one of my biggest thoughts on a daily basis.
That's probably why I personally get more from looking at a mountain landscape than the open sea.
Oh, I agree.
I could
think
not
the
agree
mountains are way more interesting than the ocean.
Oh, I like it.
Come
Hot take,
at me.
100% agree.
No,
100%
mountain
agree.
views are better than ocean views. I'm just saying that outright. I think I can stare at a mountain for hours. Ocean is the ocean is the ocean. No offense, ocean lovers. I get it. But it's just a flat mass of blue with waves. So it's just never as interesting.
Maybe once in a while, like
once
a dolphin. Pops.
And that's right. But mountains got also, you can see bears, you can see deer, you can see elk, you can see all sorts of crazy stuff. But
a Yeti.
Okay. Let's keep going on the hot take.
No.
Totally unrelated.
Okay.
City view or mountain view?
Mountain view.
City view or ocean view?
Ooh.
I knew
it. City view.
Yeah, I agree. I think I would agree. You know why? Because at least the city view has a night view.
Yeah.
Like
And
the
there's
ocean
things-
view, sun
It's just
setting,
black.
you're done.
It's just black. Cool, I can hear
It's
it.
still
but I
pretty cool
can't
and
see
inspiring.
anything.
So I wouldn't shade on it as much as you guys did, but yeah, see ocean view over no view. Yes.
The ocean
Totally.
for me is the last on every list.
Well, I like
You love
ocean
swimming, don't you?
Oh yeah, I love it.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, would I rather jump in the ocean than in a
Pond.
bucket of mud?
Yeah. Would you rather walk in the woods
Or
or
lake?
jump in the ocean?
Lake view or ocean view?
Lake.
I think I'm with you.
Yeah.
I think I'm with you.
Good. We totally lost track of the episode. I love it when that happens.
No. But I think, okay, I think you could sell imagination and curiosity.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think you could sell those two things. And I think like those are two things that I think probably I would make the argument are kind of sexy things about sticking in your own boredom is it does help encourage both those two things.
I think to Roman's point in the beginning about the negative connotation of boredom, and we've talked a lot about let's reframe it. Honestly, that's harder than manipulating people accidentally into it.
Yeah.
Right. And I mean, I use manipulation, not in its negative term, but like if I can't convince you to be bored, but I could convince you to explore imagination and like, oopsie, I made you bored.
You made you bored. Yeah,
like,
exactly.
You never have to know, but you get to experience the benefits.
Ironically, the best way to get people to do nothing is to make it a thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it's kind of what we've been talking about at the start.
Another banger.
The best way to get people to do nothing is to make it something.
Yeah.
Totally.
We have so many taglines in this episode. Like, yeah.
Yeah. Earlier you said the problem with boredom, the problem with doing nothing is it doesn't mean anything.
It's a good one too.
Well, I mean, it's
So
just
good.
interesting because it's like, it's intangible, but good. You know what I mean? And I think that's like that's something that we as
What's
humans
another
always,
intangible good?
an intangible, but good. Ooh, there's gotta be a ton.
Wait. Why is it? So doing nothing is an intangible is what you
It's an
just said?
intangibly good. It's an intangible thing, but it's a good thing. Doing nothing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Breathing.
I can't.
Sleep.
No, sleep is tangible, I think.
Okay. I'm trying to
good?
get to the root of like the intangible thing. So drinking water is tangible, all of
Yeah,
those
and
things.
doing nothing, like you can't.
It's the absence of doing something.
Yeah, it's the absence. Yeah.
Just watching. So I already contradicted it because I said watching.
It's
So
time, right?
then there's no other answer.
Nothing. There's nothing other than nothing.
Because
definition-
everything that is the absence is nothing.
Exactly. If in your definition it starts with like doing nothing, then there's no other answer.
It's true. Yeah, that's a trick question.
Okay, you know what? Never mind.
To me, watching art for 10 minutes could fall in
I
that
think
bucket,
so
but I
too.
said watching, so
Yeah.
it's something, so maybe not.
Yeah, but looking at art for 10 minutes, I mean, it's just so much of life, I think, is in the doing of nothing. And I think that's like a weird
Another
thing
banger.
to kind of think about, which is like we learn so much by not having anything directly in our face that's constantly stimulating us. It's the act of seeking out something that we do find interesting. You know what I mean? And I think that's what boredom is to some degree, is it's like in a moment of absolute nothing to do, how do you find something to do? That's you stretching your brain into curiosity, into imagination, and all those sort of things.
I think if you have a PhD in philosophy, come at us today. And if you want to quote us in your class, you can do that too.
Or call me. I'll come guest lecture.
Yeah, exactly.
I think love is an intangible good.
Yeah, I agree. I
So
think
love,
that's true.
friendship,
Friendship.
all those relationships.
Yeah, like you could
Yeah,
sit
yeah.
here we could spend hours trying to define. I mean, there are maybe slightly more tangible definitions to things like friendship
Love's
and
totally
love, but I
tangible
think
good.
love is like,
Security.
what is
Yeah.
it? Yeah, like security, it gets way more tangible because there's so many tactical,
There
like
are. Yeah.
financial,
Yeah.
like literally Maslow's hierarchy of needs explains
We're going
it.
there.
But I think love is an interesting example. And it's interesting because in theory, it's like everybody wants love,
Yeah.
but nobody wants to be bored.
Yeah. It's true.
Again, it's the
easy.
stigma. It's
Yeah.
like the stigma and the negative connotation.
Yeah.
Both are two different things
But
that we need to
because-
fight.
Well, let me flip it a slightly different way, which is everyone wants to find love. Does everyone want to do what it takes to find it?
Mm.
Because
And nobody-
Dude, we're going like
no, because I would make the
Yeah.
argument boredom is the act of finding curiosity and imagination. It's the process to which you develop that.
But you can
With-
find
with-
both of them by doing nothing.
With boredom,
That's what I mean.
But same with love.
Love you can find by doing nothing.
Yeah.
At some point, you need to.
make an effort.
No.
No?
And maybe not. It can happen. Like you could be walking down the street and
fall in love.
you could be at a coffee shop working on your laptop and suddenly someone talks to you.
Well,
and
this
you're
is why
not
it's
making an effort, you're having a
intangible,
chat
'cause, like,
and it's great and you fall in
yeah.
love. So both of them can happen doing nothing, I think.
But I think what you were getting at,
If you're
we're like,
attractive.
just humor me for like
No.
5 seconds. With love, you're interested in the outcome, but you don't really know how to get there.
Yeah.
Or maybe to your point,
Well,
you
there's
don't.
giant industries
there's
around how to get there.
There's a lot of effort
Yeah.
it takes, potentially not in Roman's world, apparently. But it's a joke. But
You got to wrap us up.
no, but on the flip side, the boredom, you're not as interested in the outcome, but you could be interested in the path to get there. Curiosity and imagination. But like one thing, the outcome is a positive, and the other one, the outcome feels like a negative.
I actually think curiosity and imagination is also an outcome.
I do too.
Mm.
I think if
Yeah,
you
okay.
frame
I
it
do
that
too.
way, that's why
I
you
do
sell.
too.
You sell
Yeah,
it as a
yeah.
benefit,
Okay. Yeah.
and you reframe the meaning of boredom.
And then you reframe it as like, hey, take my curiosity and imagination exercise. Cool. How do I do it? Go in that room. Don't come out for 20 minutes.
Yeah. Oh my God, we're gonna sell.
Oh, it's got a great view. You
yeah.
just stare at a mountain.
Just imagine in the culture of hyper productivity, and we're in the business of like services. If like you organize a day with like
Dude, I think
clients
there's something there.
and you have like a packed agenda.
Go sit in
and-
that room.
I think there's something
and
there.
Part of your agenda is
Go
all right,
sit in a room.
we know you traveled across the country to get here and to solve your biggest business problems, but we're gonna do nothing for an hour.
oh,
yeah.
it's so good.
I
How'd
know.
that land.
But
That'll
also,
be $1
and also
million.
like, oh, here's a room to do it in.
All
Don't
right, wrap
don't
us
drink.
up. We're
Okay.
over.
That's so good.
There's something interesting there. So it
Product.
started actually with I wrote quite a few notes, so I'll try and skim. But we talked first about Jesse, like how you did nothing recently, and going outside and just trying to figure out how do we help people get bored. And we talked about very early on about scheduling boredom, which was interesting because I think we circled around that quite a bit. You mentioned getting a dog as a way to help as well. And then we talked about how there's kind of two ways to do it: how to help people stay in boredom or encourage people to do nothing. We talked about the 10-minute challenge, looking at art. We talked about the no phones or boredom as the absence of answers. Then we jumped into aesthetics and architecture as something that was like, is this something that could help with kind of helping people to get to boredom? Do we make it a luxury item? Do we create boredom retreats? We started discussing hyper productivity and the stigma of constantly working, of people being afraid to be bored and do nothing because doing nothing looks bad. And then we talked more about spaces, and then even the space of driving, the space of the car, and how you could reframe driving as a wonderful chance to do absolutely nothing. We talked a lot about the discomfort and boredom, and it's connected to a loss of imagination, which I thought was interesting. And then got into the idea of boredom as sort of this great way towards curiosity and imagination, and exploring imagination and curiosity through that. The best way to get people to do nothing is to make it something. And at the end there, I think we were into something interesting, which was like intentional do nothing times and spaces. And that was sort of, honestly, weirdly, a combination of our scheduling boredom with our aesthetics and architecture conversation. So it was kind of like a weird putting a bow on it. But I'll start with Jesse first. Did we crack it?
If something can be anything and anything can be nothing, and boredom is everything, no. I loved it though. I could talk about this forever. I think we understand some of the challenges better in front of us and how we need to maybe break them down, but I don't think we cracked it.
Roman?
Yeah, I agree. We didn't crack it, but great chat. And through the benefits, I think repackaging some of what we have could get us somewhere.
I'm with you. I see opportunity.
Yeah.
And I don't always see opportunity at the end of these, but I'm like, with this one, I'm like, I see opportunity, especially this moment. Like, I mean, this kind of goes hand in hand with the whole, like, people are trying to do digital detox, all of that sort of stuff.
Totally.
Like, this feels like it's like someone could package this correctly and build something around like a boredom industry or a boredom product or something. I think there's something there. And boredom might not be the real world, just doing nothing. You know what I mean? And then showing the benefits of it.
Do you want to get significantly bored?
But this is also like just dovetails with where we are with food, with a lot of other things, with wellness going too far. It's just really interesting, this sort of like return to the natural state sort of thing. And it's out there in the ether. And I thought it was a fun conversation.
It was
I
awesome.
loved it.
So-
I loved it.
Thank you both. Thank you all for listening, and we'll see you next time on another episode of Crack It in an Hour. See ya.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to another episode of Crack It in an Hour. If you like the show, please don't forget to rate, review, and subscribe wherever you listen. If you have questions, thoughts, or feedback, shoot us an email at hello@crackitpodcast.com or on Instagram @crackitpodcast. Music done by Michael Anastasi, cover art shot by Mick Mint, and all things audio and video taken care of by Nathan Nash. See you next time.